Hey guys, Postman just left this box for me and I know what it is. It's my new Mavic Pro drone. First drone I've ever had. Actually, it's the first time using the GoPro too for any kind of video purposes, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to grab a knife. We're going to rip this bad boy open and see what's here. I know you guys are waiting on yours. I went ahead and got one that was in hand on eBay. Cost a little bit more, but I've got a trip out of the country coming up and I wanted to make sure I had this with me for the trip. And also, we're going to be using this for some business purposes too. It just didn't make sense to me to wait until whenever they decide to send them out. Okay, so since this is in hand, it came in a different box. Again, that was from eBay. Let's see. I know you guys have had plenty of unboxing videos, so we're not going to make this too painful for you. All right, a couple of things as I'm going through here. You see these manuals, they look pretty thick, pretty intimidating when you pull them out of a box. Don't worry though, only the first couple of pages are English, the rest are like 30,000 other little languages that, unless you speak them, you don't care, and they don't care about the English. One thing I'm finding that I have not seen on any of the videos yet, this charging hub has firmware in it also. You can update your charging hub the same way you update everything else. You plug it into a computer and it'll update the firmware for your charger. How you like that? Anyway, back to reading. See you shortly. Okay, I've spent probably 15 minutes leafing through these various manuals and such, and gotta tell you, there's not a lot in there. This big thick thing that says disclaimer. Oh, no wonder it's disclaimer and safety guidelines. It's more about safety and all this than anything else. I mean, it's basic stuff. Don't fly this thing while you're drunk. Don't have your private parts hanging over the rotors. Blah, blah, blah. Who needs it? Okay, kind of worthless. The quick start guide did have a few things. Showed you how to hook up for charging and things like that. Unless I'm missing it, and maybe I am, there's nothing in the paperwork that came with it that tell you how to calibrate the compass, the IMU, all that stuff. But if you're like me, you've seen so many YouTube videos on that kind of stuff, you know what to do anyway. But I didn't see it in the paperwork, which is kind of odd. While the batteries and all are still charging, there's a couple of things I thought I'd go through. The packaging that it comes in, I mean, it's great. It's over the top, ridiculously great. The problem is, if you're one of those people that likes everything to be pristine when it's done, you want everything folded back up and put back in the box, and you might not get that. I'm more of a blow it in place kind of guy, so the packaging is like, hey, who cares? It's packaging. I rip the stuff out, I use the stuff, I put the stuff back in the bag probably when I'm done. But it's so tight, and getting stuff out, you can do it, but it'd probably take you 20-25 minutes just to unbox everything because it's so tight. If you're like me and you're impatient, you just rip the box apart, 30 seconds, you got everything laying on the table in front of you. The batteries, all three of them, came at about 20%, judging by the lights. There are 4 lights on top of the battery. I got 1 dot on each of them. I'm assuming that's about 20%, 25%. The controller was charged at 24%. It says in the paperwork that the controller takes 2 hours to charge and the batteries take 1.5 hours to charge. Now the charging hub, I know it does it sequentially. It tells you that in the paperwork. It picks the weakest battery and charges it first and then goes to the next one. It doesn't charge 3 or 4 batteries, whatever you got hooked up to it. It doesn't charge all of them simultaneously. It goes one at a time. So we'll see what kind of times we've got. I wrote down the time it started charging, and it looks like the first battery that is charging, and now I got 2 dots blinking, and it's been about 10 minutes. So I mean, hey, that's not bad. But we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know. It did say it eats a lot of battery on your phone, or not the paperwork. I heard on a YouTube video that someone was complaining about it eating the DJI Go app was eating the battery on their phone just ridiculously fast. I don't know. We'll see. This is a Droid Max 2, whatever. When I fly it, we'll see, and I'll let you know how the battery fares on that. But seems to be from the YouTube videos, a lot of guys are just taking 5-10 minute flights, and it's not really that big a deal. I'm glad I got 3 batteries. I want to take this thing out and have it in the air for 20-25 minutes at a shot and see what goes on with it and learn more about it. So anyway, Oh, the other thing I wanted to cover. I know you've heard this in all the YouTube videos. People freak out how small this is and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, look how small. And you're sitting there watching it going, okay, it's small. We get it. I got to tell you, when you first pull it out of the box, you'll probably do it too. I went, holy crap, this thing's small. And I was fully expecting it to be tiny. I mean, it is very small. With the arms folded up, even with all the videos I was watching, I was surprised at how small it was when it was folded up. The other thing, the propellers, all you got to do is take 2 seconds to look at it. Unless you're totally brain dead, you're going to figure out how to put them on. It's very straightforward, very easy. White ring and the not white ring, matching the motors with the blah, blah, blah. You've all watched the videos. It's very self-explanatory if you take 2 seconds and look at it. So anyway, I'm in kind of a holding pattern at the outer beacon until we get these batteries charged up. So I'll see you in a few. All right, Sarge again. It has now been about 40 minutes. I'm going to update you on the charging. The controller is now 66%, and the first battery now has that fourth LED flashing, which means it's almost done charging. I wanted to go through something that I was confused with, but remember, I'm a noob. On the updating the software, in the paperwork it says things like unplug your Mavic from, implying that there's a hardline connection there. But all the videos I've seen, people are just updating it through their phone with the Wi-Fi, and it goes through the controller and the Mavic and everything updates wirelessly. And I got confused, which isn't hard. So what I did is I went to trusty YouTube while I was waiting for these things to charge, and I figured it out. Bottom line is you can update everything through your phone, connected to the controller, which connects to the Mavic. It'll update to the latest firmware. Where the hardline comes in through the DJI Assistant 2 program on your computer is if your controller's one version of firmware and your Mavic is a different version of firmware. I guess there's some issues trying to do that through your phone and wirelessly. In that case, you would hook each of them up directly via USB cable to your computer, or use the DJI Assistant 2 program on your computer to update your controller and your Mavic separately, get them on board with the same version of firmware. Then from then on, you can update it through your phone. Also, something I found interesting is you have to update each of the batteries you're going to use as well. So what I need to do is put the first battery that's charged in here, update everything. When I switch batteries, I have to update it again. When I switch batteries to that third one, I have to update it again. But after that, we should be good to go until a new firmware update comes out. That thing's still over there just blinking at me. It's driving me nuts. I want to get out and fly this thing, but we're going to run out of daylight, I have a feeling, today. We're in Kansas City and it's daylight savings time. Let me see. Let me throw on the old glasses here. Okay. There aren't instructions in the paperwork for how to calibrate it. But again, if you've been on YouTube, you just toggle the sport switch a few times. It'll start flashing at you. That's when you pick here, I've got it right here. You just pick the drone up and you turn it 360. You'll get a blinking green light. Then all you do is flip it down like this and do it again. Rotate it 360, and it'll let you know via the blinking light in the rear when it's good to go, and that's done. I haven't seen anything about the IMU updating, which some guys say you need to do it, and some YouTubers say don't do it unless the software prompts you. So honestly, I don't know what to do with it. I think I'll wait till I get everything plugged in, get it on the phone. I'm actually in the DJI Go app, and we'll see what it says. Hopefully it's fairly intuitive to get it done, because it's not covered in any of the paperwork that comes with it. So there you go. That's the update for now. I'll let you know when the battery's charged. Sarge out. Okay, it's now been 55 minutes. That battery is still charging. The controller's up to 81%, which making progress. But quite honestly, this is like watching a bunch of E1s try and run a PT session. It's just not near as funny. So I'm bored. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a couple of little things. It comes with a 16 gig card. I went ahead and bought one of these SanDisk Extreme Plus 64 gig cards. I don't even know how much a 16 gig card will hold, but 64 has got to be better, right? It'll handle it, so bigger's always better. The bigger the boom, the better it is. Also, I'm not exactly sure how to record the phone footage, if that happens automatically or if I need to do something. So I went ahead and got another 64 gig card to put in my phone. There's 32 in there right now. But I think it's kind of cool to have all that flight data stuff. Anyway, on the bag, I was going to pull that battery off, but it's not done charging yet. I was going to go over the bag a little bit because, like I said, I'm just freaking bored. It's a pretty nice bag for being included in there. You got this front packet, which is where I've already decided to stow all the extra propellers that came with it. This bag, this little zipper up top here would work for that, but it was kind of tight, so I figured you'd throw extra memory cards, whatever you want to, in there. But I don't see any reason that you can't fit everything in here. Here's the Mavic already folded up, put in there. I'm thinking you can get both your extra batteries in this side, plus have a little room left over. Car charger, the hub, all that stuff. You know, they've got these little side pockets. You know, I think it's pretty cool for just being included. Hey, you can't complain. I've been looking at some cases on eBay just for it. You know, number one, they're bigger. I mean, the smallest one is 16 by, I think it was 10 by 5. So it's quite a bit bigger than this. And it also, again, it's a hard side case. It's very protective. But then you're getting into the realm of it's its own thing. This bag is going to go into a bag that I'm already taking with me wherever I'm going. I don't have to plan specially for it to be on its own. When I go diving, I've got my dive bag, which usually has my clothes in it, and then I've got a go bag on my back, and this will just be thrown in there, and it'll fit beautifully. That's what I'm really looking forward to the Mavic for, is being able to take it places. And or I've got a couple of motorcycles, throw it in a saddlebag. If I'm riding somewhere and I see something cool, guess what's coming out? Yeah, my son and I were riding through South Dakota in the Custer State Park, came around a bend, and there was a herd of buffalo right there. How cool would it have been to have this thing, pull it out, fly with the buffalo? You know, that's what the Mavic's going to do for me. I have a feeling when that Phantom 4 Pro gets here, that's a different animal altogether, because you can't stow that in a bag like this. It's going to have to be in its own container all the time, but that's going to be strictly for local jobs that I'm going to do once I get things up and running. The Mavic, very portable. Looking forward to it. Another thing, for general storage, you might want to hang on to this box. I mean, it's already got all the cutouts for it. It's got that little protective foam for the gimbal, and I mean, I don't know why you would throw that away. I'm going to keep it, and that's going to be for if this is ever getting stored and I just want to have it secure for a while, I'll just put it in that box, put it wherever, because it's got all the cutouts and it's good to go. Still working on that battery, and now I'm even more bored than I was before. So we'll see what happens. Sarge out. Okay, Sarge here again. Still bored. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. Stinking battery's still going up to the 4th segment. Hasn't switched over to a new battery yet. Controller's at 89%. So, what do? I get on a computer. I am starting to look around. Since I told you I'm taking this trip out of the country, it's a cruise. We're going diving down in Nassau, Freeport, Coco Cay, a couple places. We're going to have some fun. Got the GoPros all lined up underwater. Oh man, it's going to be great. Anyway, I want to take the drone with me and do some fly-arounds in Nassau and down at Coco Cay and everything. I think that'd be great. So I get on there, and one of the questions that I saw on one of the forums was, can I take a drone on a cruise ship with me? Well, we're going on Carnival, so I went and I looked up specifically Carnival with drones. I know there are a couple of cruise lines out there that forbid them expressly. You can't bring a drone on the ship, and if they find a drone, they'll kick you off at the nearest port, blah, blah, blah. Horror stories like that. So this is only information current as of today, which is 28 November 2016. I never know what day it is. For Carnival, I went to their website, and in their exemptions, they specifically list drone cameras. You're allowed to bring the drone on board with you. It can be stored in your stateroom. You don't have to hand it over to a steward or someone dressed funny that looks like a steward. So you can bring it on with you. You can keep it in your room. You just cannot fly it while the ship is moving. If they catch you doing that, that's grounds to get kicked off the cruise and your drone confiscated. You don't want that. So what that means is when you're in port, you can take the drone off, fly it around the port as much as you want, bring it back on with you, leave it in your stateroom while the ship's moving. So, hey, by golly, the battery just switched over. So that was 1 hour and 10 minutes on the nose to charge that first battery. The controller, I'm assuming, is up into the 90s or so by now. But I'm a stickler for that, so we're going to get a full charge first time because I don't know how these batteries react. I don't want to shortchange it and affect the memory life. So we're going to let that controller go ahead and charge up to 100%. Then we're going to update, and we'll see how long that takes. All right, for right now, Sarge out. All right, we're back. 1 hour, 10 minutes to charge the first battery. 1 hour, 20 minutes to charge the controller up to 100%. My phone is at, I think it was 90. Helps if I get it the right way, doesn't it? My phone's at 94%. I figure that's close enough. What we're going to do is I've already downloaded the DJI Go app to the phone, but I haven't hooked it up to any of this yet, so none of this is updated. This is all going to be real time, folks, so you see what it's doing. If it looks like it's going to be a while, I'll cut it off and I'll turn it back on when we're complete, and I'll let you know what the timing of it all was. But so far, let's just see what we got here. I'm going to write down the start and hack. There we go. Let's give this a shot, see what happens, shall we? I have changed out the cord over here for my Droid cord. That little thing slides back and forth. I don't know if that's going to be great or not. That's the complaint I've seen in a lot of the videos on YouTube, is that that's the weak spot of all of this, is hooking your phone up to that. Let's see if I can get it in there. Guess I should turn the phone on, huh? Let's see. Well, so far, that's taking more brain cells than I have active. All right, you know what? I'm going to pop this thing out of there so that the cord's loose. I think I'm going to plug that into the phone first and then put the phone in there. Let's see if that helps or not. Yeah, at least I can see where it's going now. No laughing at an old man out there. Okay, that is in. It started the weather app on my phone. I'm not sure if I hit something or what happened. I'm going to push that back in there. All right. You can center this to a certain degree, but once it's in there, it seems like it's pretty secure. All right, now per the instructions that I found on YouTube, we're going to go ahead. I don't have the problem that the iPhone does. You know, my home button's right here. It doesn't cover it up at all. So I know some of the guys were saying that that was a pain. On my phone, which again is the Droid Max 2, I think, no problem there. All right, we're going to turn on the controller per instructions. Connecting. Now we're going to turn on the Mavic. Wait for it. Hey! All right. So it says it's Mavic Pro. A bunch of terms of use here. By activating your aircraft, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's giving me a screen here, which you can see it on YouTube if you want to see it closer. It's inconsistent firmware found. Slide to update. I'm just going to go ahead and slide that booger over there. I'm going to hit the I agree so we can do it. And now it just says activate the Mavic Pro, which I'm going to do. Name your aircraft. Hey, wow. Let's just input the name of your aircraft. Let's call this bad boy Bushfighter. That's my old call sign in the military. So we'll do that. Bushfighter. Sounds good. Bushfighter. All right. Hit continue. Control mode. We want mode 2. I would have had no clue if it wouldn't have been for YouTube. That just is the setup of the sticks. So we're going to do that. Continue. Customize your buttons. I don't know what I want to customize them to yet. But the default, as it says on here right now, is C1. I don't know which one's 1 and which one's 2. But anyway, C1 is center focus and C2 is replay. We'll just go with that for right now. I want Imperial. Whoa. And it's switching over to something. Well, crap. While I was doing that, it says it was updating. So just in the time it took me to set up a few basic things on here, it updated both the Mavic and the controller. So once again, we're going to go through this. It's giving me the activate again. I'm not sure why. It took me back to input the name of your aircraft, so I guess maybe the update was overriding that. So we'll punch in Bushfighter again. Bushfighter. Continue. I want it on mode 2. Continue. Center focus replay, continue. Imperial. Oh, and it does have down here, you got to pay attention. Imperial was already checked, but so was PAL. We're not on PAL, we're on NTSC because, doggone it, we're in America. Continue. Beginner mode. You know, I think I'm going to try it in the tripod mode instead of the beginner mode, so I'm going to take that off. Confirm your activated account. Your aircraft's information will be bound to this account and serves as proof of your warranty. Confirm that the email address is correct. I've already got a DJI account because I've been on the forums. So let me enter my email address there. Again, this is all real time for a reason. I want you guys to know exactly how this goes and how long it takes. And then my password. Log in. Your aircraft's information will be bound, blah, 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 and then just activate. Activation success. Oh, now it's asking me to update firmware. Help DJI. Okay, well, let's try to hit that button, see what happens here. Unfortunately, DJI Go has stopped. Isn't that lovely? That's mostly my luck with these things. So let's see what we have to do here. Aircraft is connected. It took me back to the main DJI screen. It says the aircraft is connected. Let's see if I get anything on the camera. Nope. It says, okay, good. It says update required. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Aircraft update required. Gimbal. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? This is the value of all this. I forgot to take this off, which is making that gimbal work harder than it needs to. Take that little plastic cover off. There we go. I knew I'd forget to do that. All right, let's see what it says now. Aircraft update required. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it'll let me click that. Overall status. It's not letting me click that. Let me go back here. Update required. Blah, blah, blah. It takes me to a screen that says it's up. It needs to be updated, but it doesn't let me do anything about it. Okay, you got to hit that little arrow maybe. Let's see. All right, guys. There we go. Nope. All it says is updates required, but it doesn't tell me how to do it. So if I'm having this problem, you know, I imagine you guys are going to have it too. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, I went to the camera mode. I'm locked onto 10 satellites sitting here in my kitchen, which is no big deal. I guess what we need to do is go back and try again. I don't know. Let me see here. It's kind of cool. I'm looking at myself in the... Okay, time's a wasting. What are we going to do here? My home button is not appearing anywhere, so I don't know how to get out of the DJI Pro app. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to stop this. I'm going to figure this out, and I'll come back. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened. What I did is I turned the Mavic off, I turned the controller off, got out of the DJI Pro, Go, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Got out of the app. Then I restarted it, and it comes back on, and it says updates. Well, crap. It said I had the latest firmware. Now it's just telling me, just since I've been talking, that the update is required. Updates required. Holy crap. And again, it won't let me do anything about it. I hit the updates required box and it just sends me to something that tells me I need to update. I know that because you're already telling me that. All right. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. So, I don't know what to tell you. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time. Oh, here's some of that good old Chinese to American translation. Fly with cautious. Well, guys, I don't know what the heck to do here. I'll try it again and see what it says. Let's try and turn the Mavic off. Okay, that's gone. Turn the controller off. Shut down. How do I get out of the dang DJI? Okay, I hit DJI in the upper left and it takes me back. Okay, so now I've just got the DJI Go app. Let's get totally out of that. So I went back to my home screen. Let's try starting that after we have everything started. So I'm going to turn on the controller. Okay. Turn on the Mavic. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's on. Now it takes me, it started the DJI Pro app. Aircraft connected. New firmware update now. Okay, so it came across and said there was new firmware available. Update now. The update log, it's optimized the remote controller calibration, adjusted the default gimbal pitch, blah, blah, blah. Takes approximately 15 minutes. It says down here in a chopped off little button that it's downloading. Now the controller says it's in ADI mode and it's ready to go. But this says it's downloading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the video and we'll see if it is indeed upgrading or what it's doing. So I'll be back and let you know. Sarge out. Alright, we're back with the update, if you will. It took 12 minutes to update the Mavic and the controller. The battery on the Mavic is still at 4. We're going to turn this on. I think it took 3 or 4% off of this and 3 or 4% off my phone. When it was upgrading, the Mavic itself turned on and off a couple of times, beeped at me. The gimbal was going nuts for a while. It was really quick up to 73%, and then between 73 and 78, that's when the gimbal was moving around a lot. It went a little slower, but on my phone, it came across and said, update complete, restart your device. So what I did is I turned everything off, and that's where we're picking this up now. I'm going to turn my phone back on, turn the controller on. Okay, we're going to turn the Mavic on. Let's see what happens here. It says it's connecting, the gimbal's going nuts. Okay, it says we're connected. Let's see what we got here. So it took 6% off the power of the controller. The Mavic is still at 4 bars. And my phone, who knows, because I don't have that on the screen right now. But it was, when I checked it, it was like 3%. So not the end of the world. Let's see. It says cannot take off. Why can we not take off? Maybe because you're sitting at a kitchen table, idiot. Cannot take off. Ready to go. Vision. Okay. Well, anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to run this bad boy outside since we still have a little bit of light. I'm going to go ahead and calibrate the compass because there's a 1,000. Hey, I just took a picture of something. I'm recording. Oh, we're going to turn that off. All right. There's 1,000 YouTube videos on how to calibrate it. We're going to go ahead and calibrate it, and then we're going to try a short little flight in tripod mode because there's no way first time I ever fly a drone that I'm going to put it on full controls. The tripod, as you know, really dampens the controls. So even if I screw up and get jerky with it, it's going to be kind to me, I hope. So we're going to pick this up outside, and we're going to see if we can get this thing up in the air. See you in a minute. Well, as you saw in the video, hopefully if I edited it right, just did the first flight. Man, it was, you know, maybe 30 seconds. Super easy, super intuitive. The sticks on tripod mode were perfect for a beginner. I mean, even if you push it all the way up, it just goes up like you... Well, I don't know if you'll see that in the video. But anyway, if you could see it, if the GoPro could pick it up, everything is muted enough to where you don't have to worry. It was very stable, unbelievably stable. There was no drift, no nothing. I think I'm going to like this a lot. There were a few hiccups, as you can see in the setup of it, but they were all easily overcomable just by stepping back and looking at it a little bit. Overall, I'd say I'd give it 8 out of 10. I'd subtract 2 just for the little hiccups that were there. I don't know if it was my phone or the DJI Go app that was confusing because the bubbles were cut off. It says it was downloading, but it wasn't, so I had to roll up the screen and then it started downloading. Just little bitty things like that. But overall, remember, I've never even held a drone before, let alone flew one, set one up, anything like that. Overall, from my perspective, pretty easy to do. Especially with all the YouTube videos that are available. If you hit a stopping point and you get stuck, go look it up on YouTube. There's 100 people out there that are experts in this, that have done it before, that can show you how to do or how to fix what you've done wrong. Overall, this is very cool, man. I think this is going to be a great thing for me. I'm going to wait for daylight tomorrow, probably have a second video of the maiden flight, if you will, after the little 30-second tarmac experience. But overall, pretty easy to do. No big strains. The time when you're impatient, you know, hey, just get over that because that second battery is still flashing on the 4, and that's, you know, it's been a couple of hours. But anyway, for an hour and whatever it was, 20 minutes, 10 minutes to charge that first battery in the controller, well worth it. Don't hurry it. Do it right. This thing, unbelievable. I've never flown anything, and like I said, it was so stable. It's just unbelievable to me how this thing can do it. I didn't think to check. I wish I would have how many satellites I was locked onto. I just knew it was enough. I don't remember what it said. But then hopefully tomorrow we're going to get into a flight and try some of the other things out besides tripod. Oh, one thing I will tell you that surprised me. I couldn't get it into tripod until it was actually flying. So I used the auto takeoff, swiped it to the right, it just buzzed right up there to 3.9 feet. Then I got on the screen and hit tripod mode, and it was beautiful. And to land it, I didn't use auto land or anything. I just brought it down, and it got probably 1.5 feet off the ground, and paused, and then just let me bring it on down, real smooth. And I held the stick down for a few seconds, and it shut it off. Very easy, very intuitive. I'm gonna love this drone, I can tell already. So anyway, I hope you all have a good night, and have a hua kind of day, will you? Sarge out.